Hi there, welcome back to the Noah Presgrove case. Today we're looking at some interesting conversations, statements, once again reflecting back on the likes of Stevie Howard and what was claimed then. I have gone over it back then, but I didn't really analyse it further because I only knew so much. I guess other people with time have picked up on other things, so I can just bring it all back together now, whether it be inconsistencies, timing not quite adding up, whether that be in conflict with Caden's timeline or somebody else's, and just the order of events, how people found out about it, because there'll be some named individuals which we've briefly heard of, but never really looked at much, and maybe it's not been acknowledged enough on my channel. But you know, there's so many people to get through bit by bit. That's what we do. If there needs to be like a follow-up update with this video, I can do that in the future. But just right now, I want to try and combine it all together with some statements recently. Maybe look at comments too. And then later on in this video, look back at the comment section of the previous video that I did to do with the supposed mystery laptop from the party, because there is high activity going on in the comment section over there. You thought that the live chat was active. Well, think again, it still is ongoing. So there's a fair chance that what I read out today, if there is time, there might be more the following day because it's still ongoing. But I just thought there's no point waiting around too long. I might as well just get into it as soon as I can. So then you can see the latest discussions, what the likes of Brooke, Bounds, Carter has to say, and more. Before we go any further today, just want to say welcome to those that are currently watching this live premiere. Feel free to share your thoughts on the right hand side of the chat box. And if you want to leave any comments down below after watching this video, feel free to do so. You can let me know your thoughts, if you agree, disagree, questions, and whatever else, and I'll try and respond at this time. You'll find a pinned message by me at the top of the comments with additional links if you want to support this channel, and if you want to catch up on recent coverage by me, top right corner of the screen where you'll see the I symbol up there, click and you'll find a drop-down menu box with a full playlist, so you can look back at my recent videos as well. The order of how we'll do things today, I'll present to you some older screenshots first, and then look at the latest post by Michael Facecas, who I think is on the same wavelength as Dusty Butler when trying to make sense of a statement by Stevie Howard in the past. We'll try and compare and contrast. Might be a little bit rusty with this because I've not been as focused in this area of the case, but we'll see what happens. And whether or not the comment section needs to be looked at too on Facebook, I'll see. Hopefully we've got enough time today. It's only recently come about, this post, so that's why I'm trying to get it done now. Keep on top of it. So then once that's under control, I can then move back to my more original videos and the creative ones. Just need to cover the latest news first of all, and then we go from there. So let's begin. What you're seeing on screen first is Stevie Howard's response to some questions. As for where it came from, I don't know. It's probably from the past. I know it says 4 hours ago, her comment, but that could mean 4 hours ago, months ago when the screenshot was taken, 4 hours on from when it was posted. If that makes any sense whatsoever. Hopefully it's clear enough. It is a bit blurry, but I've tried clearing it up. I'll zoom in and I'll read it out to you right now if you just want to listen in. Denise Rogers-Arnold says, and what time did she wake them up? Who is she wake them up? I believe this is in regards to Sarah Long, sister to Stevie Howard. Stevie not within the area at the time, possibly Texas, correct me if I'm wrong. Sarah closer by, hence why she was the one to go on down to the party house. Sarah calling it the scene, not the house, which is a bit of an eye-opener. As for the timing of when it took place, Stevie responds and says, after 8 a.m. in the morning on Monday. That's when Sarah Long arrived, after 8 a.m. at the party house. And I don't know if it's mentioned here, but it was said elsewhere, either by Sarah herself or Stevie, that when arriving, she woke everyone up. But Caden said they weren't woken up because they were already awake. And to be honest, as for the timing of 8 a.m., like with Caden Pressey, whose name was mentioned within conversations like this, it would have already gone by then, because based off Caden Pressey's timeline, what we've heard of, Renee Millan, the mother to Jasmine, came on down at around 6:30 a.m. and then by 7 a.m. they were already gone. Jasmine, Stephanie, I'm guessing, Renee and them lot left. And as for Caden, he left too around that time, driving, taking the other guys back, Brylan, Mikey, Isaac, home. So that would have only left Logan, Carter and Avery at the house. So once 8 a.m. rolled by and Sarah supposedly came on down, only 3 partygoers would have been present, right? Unless Jack Newton was there too. I don't know by that time. I'm just filling in some of the blanks if it's not mentioned here. But I'll just continue reading with Stevie. After 8 a.m, my dad called her. So in terms of Stevie Howard's father, that is Bub Wilcoxon, if I'm correct in saying. So Stevie Howard says, my dad, known as Bub Wilcoxon, called my sister, Sarah Long, after 7 a.m, after our hired hand beat on the door and woke Bub Wilcoxon up. Bub was getting dressed to go down there. He called Sarah, woke her up. She came to Terrell because I was out of town. She was my other sister with her hubby and family, who's also supposed to be one of the first in scene. Lol. What the hell? She was the closest at the time she got to Terrell after 8 or so. The only thing that would make sense here is if it's true that Sarah lives closer or in the area closer than the likes of Stevie. You need a family member or someone close to comfort, to go on down to learn what's happening and see the other partygoers if they're doing okay. And if you're too far away, get the nearest person next who's more practical to visit. I get that. But besides what Sarah Long has said by wording it as, I arrived at the scene, she was talking about the party house. Bit of a red flag. You don't call the party house the scene. Of all people to call it the scene, it's the individual that believes it was a hit and run and it was kind of Noah's responsibility and that it happened on the highway. Well, if that's true, then the highway is the scene of the death. So why are you calling the house the scene as well? And possibly Sarah, or if it was Stevie, why one of the two referring to, in an alternative scenario, as an example, the wheat field, people, partygoers picking up teeth, loose teeth of Noah. Yeah, none of that helps. But what stood out to me just then is that Stevie says in brackets that Sarah, her sister, who's also supposed to be one of the first in or on scene, lol. What's so funny about being first on scene? Unless this was a reference at the time saying it's a load of BS, claims made like, oh, Sarah was first on scene, she saw it all happen, but she didn't really. Unless Stevie is being sarcastic here, that's a possibility. But if this is in reference to being first at the party house, calling it the scene, that's yet another person slipping up with the tongue, right? It just seems a little bit problematic, if I'll be honest. What else do we have? Melanie says to Stevie, if she, your sister, Sarah Long, woke them up, the partygoers, that late, 7 to 8 in the morning, then we're talking about 2 different timelines. Caden Pressey said that Jack Newton woke him and the others, 3 boys, up at 5:15 a.m. So if your hired hand beat on the door and woke your dad up and he called your sister and all this was around 7 to 8, then she's not the one that woke Caden up and he's telling the truth, which we all knew anyway. And I mean, to be honest, besides Caden and the others, and anyone else in between being woken up supposedly at 5:15 by Jack, the next key timestamp that needs to be acknowledged is when they left the house. Caden, Brylan, Mikey, Isaac left the party house to go back home close to or around 7 a.m. That's what Caden said in his public interview. Could it be a bit later after 7? Yeah. But could it still be happening before the likes of Sarah coming on down? Yeah. And as for Renee Milan, the mother to Jasmine Stephanie, Caden said those lot went home too around the same time. Now, it does differ because we've seen alternative stories where they state that certain parents came on down like Renee and then the girls were outside, all huddling together, crying, and they remained there for a certain length of time. Obviously, doesn't match up with Caden's, but there's that, isn't there? Let me know your thoughts regarding it. If we move on to Dusty Butler, this was August 8th. Just like, I guess, recapping it, trying to make sense. Let's see what Dusty had to say at the time. Let's go over the comment. Stevie Howard states that her dad, Bub Wilcoxon, called Sarah Long after 7 a.m. just after their hired hand beat on the door and woke him up. He was getting dressed to go down there. First off, Bub Wilcoxon is the nearest family member to Stevie's girls at the time. Stevie received the call from her girls a little after 6, but closer to 6:30 a.m. per another Facebook post of hers. Why did Stevie not call Bub or her sister Sarah to go with the girls? Why did the girls not call Bub? Yeah. So why would the girls call the mother who's further away than the likes of Bub? Personally, I just think because of comfort levels and who you're closer to, you know, closer to your mother than closer to your, is it grandfather or something? How did Bub's hired hand find out about this in order to, tell Bub or anyone else knocking on the door? Why did Bub not get dispatched out to the scene, being that he is a volunteer fire deputy? But then again, if we're basing it off Caden Pressey and his account of supposedly seeing video footage by Kathy Bingham of the highway and shorts being removed from Noah's body, and there is a volunteer firefighter within the shot, and then you've got Michael Fay's Kaz Online made a reference to a volunteer firefighter, people supposedly piecing it together and saying it could possibly be Bub Wilcoxon, maybe dispatched earlier, but not officially dispatched, right? When you get people of authority, certain roles and positions, and they dispatch themselves, but off the record, is that how you word it? Is that a possibility? Off the record, so it's not monitored and it's not known, so it doesn't trace back. Kind of like how people were pushing it with, was it JJ Bump Ass? Supposedly got bitten, needed antibiotics, but didn't want to get them officially because he would be on record and it could link back to him somehow. Regardless of how true it is or relevant to the party, the act of wanting something, being present somewhere, but not on like an official visit, more in the background, it's a little bit more sneaky, isn't it? Anyway, Dusty says, which also brings up a few more points. The first volunteer fireman that showed just so happens to also be a hired hand of Bub's. Does that so? Also, if you listen to the call that the volunteer firemen made to dispatch, you can tell that they called it in that they were headed to the scene. So does that mean they were not dispatched out? It was as if the dispatch was confused about the call. So then how did the firemen know to go to the scene? Who called them? Normally it should be someone official, maybe? Or someone in distress needing help. Anyways, I was just going back over a few of their posts and this just didn't add up. So in terms of the reference by Dusty, I think it's only fair to play that dispatch call. I don't know if it's going to cause any issues, any copyright. Hopefully not. I'll try and present it to you right now. The quality is a bit shit. Not much I can do about it. But I'll play it right now. Just listen in.
Go ahead, 24. This is County. En route? Where en route? En route to north of town. Yes, ma'am. County clear at 6:34. Are you Ryan or town? Fire department. Okay, county clear 6:35. Thank you.
after hearing that, hopefully it was clear enough to understand. Something about the time of 6:35. As I said, this is the first time I'm reacting to this. I'm trying to process it on the spot. Even the timestamp 6:35 sounds a little bit late, considering at 6:05, that's when Jack supposedly called his father, Caleb, about the news. And at 5:53 was the third call made by Tyler Hardy earlier on. So it seems to be a bit stretched out in a way. And why would you need, at a later point, volunteer firefighters to come on down? Now, I'm not an expert, but I can understand if you got like a road traffic incident, there was damage, there's a vehicle upside down, people are stuck in a building, stuck in a car, or there's a fire, whatever, firefighters, volunteers, or what, local or from afar, can come on down with the right equipment, a hose pipe, those claws, I forgot what they're called, mandible claws, to break through and get people out. But if you got Noah Presgrave, who was literally found on the road dead, what other resources do you really need practically? But anyway, we've got Michael here. How does this compare to Dusty's analysis from the past? Let's see. Analyze this a bit. Is it normal for firefighters to dispatch themselves and then inform dispatch office? The dispatch office where they're heading? Should it be the other way around? If you got the dispatch office, they should be reaching out to the firefighters or the police. And I guess the dispatch call, what we got last time? Well, the last dispatch calls, what we looked at, if you remember the audio, it was members of the general public, Tyler and Tyler Hardy, calling into dispatch or police dispatch about what's happened. And that was around 5:43 to 5:53. And then dispatch said, right, we'll send police, or we'll send an officer, we'll send Jeremiah Wilson out there. And that probably would have been done in the background onwards. Okay. With that pattern, that order, then the same should be done for the firefighters. But why should the firefighters be calling dispatch of all people? Because these firefighters aren't just simply members of the general public. They're a part of something formal, official, right? I mean, what's the difference between a firefighter and a volunteer firefighter? Is it simply one gets paid, the other one doesn't? Does a volunteer firefighter have to follow the same rules and strict code as proper official firefighters, or what? Are they called volunteer firefighters because it's all local? The term VFF or VF, volunteer firefighter, was used in the Dylan Rounds case. I don't know if it was Ty Corbin, but Lance Kelly regarded as a volunteer firefighter, but he wasn't in uniform. And I don't think he was at the time during Dylan Rounds, but maybe earlier was. Either way, I guess the exception you could say as to why firefighters are on the way down and actually calling dispatch of all people is because someone else has told them. But why and who would do that? Someone connected via family member or friend. But anyway, if the time is around, 6:35 or so, why has it taken that long? It's okay saying the firefighters, it's weird them calling dispatch. Should it be dispatch calling the firefighters? Well, if so, why did they not do it earlier then? 6:35? The dispatch, much earlier on, were reaching out to the police, weren't they? And Jeremiah Wilson, getting them on down to the scene at around 6:15, 6:18 a.m. onwards. Why is it worded as if the firefighters were late to the party? Why? It's just a weird order. It would have made more sense the firefighters coming much, much earlier on and contacting dispatch like they had a heads up. You could still say, what's the mystery behind who told the firefighters about it and why not reach out to dispatch immediately? Why do it in a certain order? But still, it would make a bit more sense compared to being late to the party and also informing dispatch when dispatch have already known by then. They should have told the firefighters. That's at least how I'm interpreting it here, but what are the key observations from Michael? From the comments and analysis, Timeline inconsistencies. Stevie Howard mentioned that her father, Bub Wilcoxon, was woken up after 7 a.m. by a hired hand who knocked on his door. However, other accounts suggest the timeline began earlier, around 5:15 a.m. So I'm guessing Caden Presses. Melanie points out discrepancy, noting that if the events started as early as 5:15 a.m., Stevie's father being notified after 7 a.m. doesn't quite align with the timeline provided by other individuals, because they should have found out sooner if it happened sooner. Roles, responsibilities. Hired hand seems to play a significant role in notifying Bub. It's unclear how the hired hand learned about the incident before Bub, especially considering that Bub is part of the volunteer fire department. Why was the hired hand the first to act, and why didn't Bub receive a direct dispatch notification earlier? Yeah, so kind of like what I was saying. Breakdown in communication, maybe? The VFF involvement. The Post questions why the first volunteer firefighter to arrive, who also happens to be Bub's hired hand, knew about the incident before dispatch formally sent out a notification. This suggests potential insider communication or irregularities in the reporting process. If the firefighter was already heading to the scene before the official dispatch, it raises questions about how they were informed and by whom. Communication choices. Stevie Howard did not directly contact Bub or her sister Sarah, even though both were closer to the situation. Instead, there's an indirect path of communication raising questions about decision-making during critical moments. The girls at the scene, presumably Stevie's daughters, Avery Carter, did not immediately call Bub, which seems unusual given his proximity and role as a family member and volunteer firefighter. All I can say is, the reason why Avery Carter may call their mother before Bub is because you got a closer bond physically, mentally to your mother than the likes of, I guess, maybe your grandfather or whatever other family ties. There's that. You know, it's like one of those things where you could be trapped, you could be alone, and the first person that's on your mind, the first person you contact could be miles away, could be even further and further away, and you think that's the most impractical person to be reaching out to, and yet it might be the only person out there you're most closest to, or that you feel they will have a better understanding, so you'll reach out to them instead of someone that's closer by. Those that are closer by you may not connect with the same way. Depends how you look at it. What else do we have? Dispatcher confusion. The analysis highlights that the dispatcher's call recording reflects confusion, implying lack of clarity on who initiated contact and why. If the volunteer firemen were already en route, it suggests an informal notification system outside standard dispatch procedure. Logical gaps. The Post questions why Stevie didn't prioritise informing Bub directly and instead relied on others. It also questions the decision-making of the girls and sequence of calls made following the discovery of incident. The analysis implies potential withholding of information or irregular behaviour in reporting the incident. So yeah, when it comes to reporting an incident or an accident, there needs to be a bit of proactiveness to show that, one, you care, that you're worried, and, you know, just taking action. Some people can freeze. Others may not know what to do whatsoever. But I guess in fairness, when it comes to a situation like this where some people would be familiar with Noah, they should be more likely to take action quicker when it's one of their own people or they care about or know. If it's a complete stranger, you're not going to have the same emotional connection. You're not going to have the same charged energy behind it, unless it's the emotional connection which can impact your decision making. Once again, the psychological effects within this case and the events leading up to Noah's death. Does having a stronger emotional connection or bond to the victim impact your decision making with time? Would it be any different if it was a band of strangers that came across Noah? Would they report on it quicker? Well, arguably you could say Tyler and Tyler Hardy, who are complete strangers to Noah, whilst they may have not been the first ones there to begin with, in their own mind, they were first on scene, as Tyler stated himself, Tyler Hardy. Nevertheless, although somewhat wrong, they made sure to make a call as soon as possible. So their decision-making, their communication was done somewhat efficiently, right? But then if the events and timeline is true earlier with Caden's, there's chances where there was other people present that could have done more, and yet they decided not to, or not officially. So that involves Jack and the two other truck drivers. And then you could say, well, what about Caden? What about Brylan, Isaac and Mikey when they came on down? They were last to the party in that situation. They would have already assumed that whoever's on scene first would have already made the call. So there's that. We can check the comments out briefly. Keep it to most relevant for now so we don't get too deep or stuck. Michael, there is a story floating around that the undersheriff, Jimmy Williams, was called on his personal phone before anyone else. This is likely why he arrived on scene first and was already on his way there before dispatch even called him. Yes, in terms of dispatch, they only referenced to Jeremiah Wilson, which, what's he called? The deputy or something. As for the undersheriff, Jimmy Williams arrived first before Jeremiah, but there was no mention of that in the dispatch. So it is interesting. Justin, definitely need to get them phone records, but I'm sure they will have a story for that too. It would explain how Jimmy got there from Marlow before the sheriff. He also stated he only alerted Terrell, volunteer firefighter, because he didn't want a bunch of other law enforcement out there to cause chaos. I've seen it on the Daily Mail. So how many other people were actually called before official 911 and by who? Who is the hired hand / volunteer firefighter? I don't know if this is accurate or not. Well, that's not promising. Jason Duke. Have I heard that name before? I don't think so. Joyce says not Jason. Right. Is it CA? What's CA? California? No, not. How did he know about No Presgrove? Why go to Bub's house? May I message you? Whatever they're going on there, the conversations. Is his hired hand Cash? Cash Alslop or something? Cash is the one that was done for putting cameras up in the female bathroom somewhere. Was it Warwicker or some other place, town? Terrell, was it? I can't remember which place got done for it. But then the likes of possibly Brooke, Bounds, Carter and some of us were defending him, saying it's normal to put cameras up in female bathrooms because it was pointing towards the door anyway. Is that so? Was OHP called before the volunteer firefighter? No. So who supposedly woke up the hired hand then? Good question. Where does the hired hand live? Or roughly? I'd be interested to know. That's true, they do wake up early. It's just dawned on me that I never seen it mentioned before. I was going back scrolling. What about? I don't see anything about who woke or alerted him. Farmhands usually are out working at dawn. Okay. But still, there needs to be communication. Joyce, they were there by 6:15 a.m. but dispatched at 6:34. Personal calls exchanged? Yeah. Oh, yeah. I don't understand is Stevie Howard saying she was out of town, yet she was able to help clean up if she's talking about out of town, as in Berry, Texas, or Bowie. Then she could have got there in 24 minutes versus Sarah Long getting there in 40 minutes. Got to also take in mind that when it comes to Stevie Howard, who claims wasn't there at the party house nor attended afterwards, getting on into the morning time, while Sarah Long did attend. What was the other person called? BBM, Becky Barnes Matlock, or some other Becky that stated Stevie Howard was present at the party house alongside Sarah Long and others, even though Stevie says she wasn't. What's that all about? Weird time. We got Becker. This needs to be investigated. As thought he knew from the start. I didn't even have a reason to think about that. I think the best thing to do is just break it down bit by bit. Whether you look at Bub first or you look at the hired hand, the mystery of the hired hand. What was he doing? Where was he? Even before Noah's death, during the party, what was the hired hand doing? Where were they at? Jan Fiorillo says, do we know if any other Terrell volunteer firefighters came to the scene other than Cash Alsop, Jason Duke, Cole Duke, Bob Wilcoxon? What firefighters were radioing to dispatch that they were en route at 6:34? If Cash, Jason Cole were on scene at 6:14, do we know any of these details? And to be honest with you, these names are alien to me because I've not really heard them before. Michael, maybe when they said en route, they meant to say, oh, we've been here for 20 minutes already. Isn't that strange? Oh, Donna's come on in. If I'm not, Brandon Whitford was on scene as well. Yes, ma'am, he's a volunteer. So it looks like Jan and Donna are on good terms once again, in case you're wondering, Beth. Got it, thank you. Do you know the name of the hired hand? Not right off the top of my head. Don't go digging. Isn't it Cash Levi Alsop? Oh shit, I called him Alslop. Oh no, I've messed it up with the names again. Aren't they all Lodge brothers? At the time Noah Presgrave was found, did JCSO have any deputies? What's JCSO? We all know Ellie won't look into any discrepancies. Okay. Wonder why OHP would tell her that. Uh-oh. We've got a long post by Sarah Long. Sarah Long with a long paragraph. The party house Jack Newton was staying at is 1 mile from the scene. I think the truck driver called first at 5:53. Wasn't the first to call though, but it was the correct timestamp, Tyler Hardy. It was actually 5:43 and 5:46 when the first then second call was made. First by Tyler, second one failed attempt by Tyler Hardy, third and final successful one by Tyler Hardy at 5:53. Jack Newton arrived at the scene of the highway at 6:05 a.m. or close to it. Well, I heard that 6:05 was actually the time of when he made the call to his father, though, at the scene already. He only stayed a few minutes at the scene, like maybe 5 minutes or less, and the party house is literally 2 minutes away. Jack Newton told the truck driver and service truck driver he needed to call his dad and go tell his friends Noah was dead. So he left the scene at 6:10. That would give him 5 minutes to make 1 mile back to the house to wake everyone up, so it'd be 6:15, which ties in with Caden Pressy's minute hand timeline, not by the hour hand, but the minute hand, 15. The hour hand being 5 by Caden, 5:15, but Sarah here stating it's 6:15. Which one exactly, I wonder? Anyway, the police have Jack Newton's phone location so they can see he's not lying about his timeline. They know he left to go tell his friends after he woke them up. Then Caden Pressy and a few others loaded up into the red Jeep and went to the scene. And I believe they were told by the service truck driver they didn't need to be there. Noah deceased told them to leave because 911 was on their way. I think Caden Pressy's phone pinging there close to 6:23-ish, according to HP. Did Caden Pressy actually have his phone with him when he was at the highway? Never heard any mention of that. But in terms of the description here by Sarah Long, supposedly, it does tie in line with what Caden was saying, but obviously the biggest difference is the timing. Caden says 5:15. Sarah is suggesting 6:15. If the 6:15 a.m. timestamp was more true, it would make others appear more innocent. But if you're looking at Caden's timeline, it's making those, the other people, look more suspicious. I don't know if I worded it correctly then, if my mind spazzed out, but let me just try and reset again if it did mess it up. If 6:15 was the true correct timestamp, it would make those that originally looked suspicious look more innocent now. But if you refer to Caden's timeline, it makes those just remain suspicious, and the situation makes more confusion. And then Miranda says, still not understanding. Okay. What else do we have? They wouldn't exactly false or mislead him. Okay. What else do we have? Good observations. And last but not least, exactly great post. Truth does do a great job on this as well. All three of y'all did. How did they know so early and who called her first? Or was someone already out there the whole time? Sarah Long states that Jack Newton was seen at 6:05. But Jasmine Millan called her mother between 5:45 a.m. Oh, yeah. Okay, so you can let me know your thoughts down below there. If there's updates, we'll do that. One other last thing I wanted to show you. I don't know if we'll read it out all. I think I'll just glance over it. You can react to it yourself, okay? Gathered opinions from partygoers, social news, etc., etc. Opinions and theories about Noah Presgrave is he was met with foul play that night. Should have called 911 to get him help, but some made bad decisions. I'm done explaining myself because their beliefs are beyond my control. What lies outside my control isn't worth the energy. So I let go. Let them believe what they will. Let them say it was my fault. Let them twist the past to suit their comfort. I won't spend another moment fighting battles I didn't choose. Thoughts, actions, I choose silence. Not as a retreat, but as a reclaiming of my power. And if my silence is misunderstood, so be it. If it's uncomfortable for others, that discomfort is theirs to resolve. Explaining, justifying, debating, none of it creates peace. Peace comes from within, from the wisdom of knowing when to release what weighs you down. So I let them go, and in doing so, I set myself free. With this said, I'll be taking a break for a while. I'll continue to pray for truth and justice. So basically, those watching right now, if you wonder why Justin Roy has gone quiet, it's because he's taking a break, and that's it. Okay? With that all being said, let's now move on to the comment section of my channel. Here we go. Sounds like the UFC. Well, there's been a bit of a fight back and forth, if you want to call it that. So, you look at the comment section, it can be very good, and a few records broken just recently in a short amount of time. Do you know how many comments that have come up in this video up to now? And it's still ongoing. 274 messages. Crazy. We're going to start from the bottom and work our way up. If I need to speed up, I will, just to be efficient with timing. But look at that, 2 threads, over 20 replies. It's crazy. So first of all, we got Jade. Shout out to them. I spoke to someone close to Brylan. Now, who is that? Close as in a friend or a family member? The mother or someone else? She said he hasn't come forwards to the public because he didn't do anything wrong. And she said Brylan hasn't told her if Noah was naked when Brylan saw him or if he was wearing the black shorts. I think she's lying on that part. She. Is this the mother referring to? Just like how whether it be Brylan or the mother spoke on behalf and said previously to you, Jade, if I'm correct in saying that, there's no point speaking out because it wouldn't solve anything anyway. And, it would help. Skippy says, if Brylan didn't do anything wrong, why not say whether he saw Noah with shorts on or off, unless he's trying to protect someone who was involved in either Noah's death or to cover up? How close is this person to be? Oh, to Brylan. Close enough for him to really tell her what he saw. Then you got Micheline Wallgren. It didn't happen. Caden's timeline is false. Not one piece of evidence supporting that, but many show it's inaccurate. Police know it's false. I don't blame Caden. Interesting. Micheline says to Skippy, man, you people are gullible. They know Caden's timeline is wrong. Do you know his mother collects thousands in Reddit saying they don't benefit is a lie? Just as a heads up, at least to my knowledge, you can't get paid on Reddit. It's not like Twitter with those accounts and you can create engagement and farm it and get paid through adverts. It's not like YouTube where you can become a content creator and grow from that way. You can't get paid direct through Reddit from what I'm aware of. Skippy responds, I know Elisha Lee is Caden's mom since she's identified herself, but I don't know how you know Noah or any of the party goers. How do you fit into all this? It's a good question, right? Because you could say Micheline is a bit of a cheerleader for Jack Newton, but if there was a bit of a backstory, it could help make sense on everything. Jade to Mike or Micheline, who else was Noah dating? Safia says, Noah was wearing the black shorts when he was murdered, in my opinion. I think Brylan was forced to participate and is scared of the others involved. Tammy, ask her Brylan was the guy in the shower with Noah. Jade, she told me that Brylan hasn't told her anything. I think she's lying about that. There's no way he wouldn't tell her anything, but I tried. It makes me think the mother, by her. Skippy says to Micheline, it would help if you provide a summary of what you know rather than saying we're gullible because Caden's timeline is wrong. Please provide your timeline so we can have more than just Caden's. Let us know how it is and your info is accurate. Were you at the party? Are you related to someone who was? Yeah, it's okay others going about saying, that's wrong, that's incorrect. Nah. They don't back it up. Where does it go? It's the equivalent of some person who's not even a creator comes to my channel, tells me off and says, you're doing it wrong. That's not how it's supposed to be. You should be doing this and you should be doing that, but not actually explaining it, not showing it themselves. So are you supposed to believe in it? Skippy to Jade, thanks for asking good questions, sharing the information with us. Only those directly involved know the truth, of course, but it's interesting to see how the inner circle of the party respond to questions. Exactly. So we got Rebecca Gagliari. There we go, got it better this time. Twinkling Twilight. She doesn't know any of them, can guarantee you that. But there's got to be a motive for Mickalene being strong-minded and supporting a certain side of people. There's got to be a reason behind it and a motive. Whether you're connected emotionally, through family or friends, or you're benefiting in other ways, there's got to be a reason. Skippy to Twinkling Twilight, lack of a response from certain people speaks volumes, doesn't it? I don't like emotional grenade throwers who don't provide why they state certain things as facts. If it's opinion, that's okay, but they should state so. Saphia, she never answers. That's true. Mickalene will say quite a bit, but then after that, drops off, goes quiet, so never answers. Never has answered a question from me, which is interesting. Says a lot. Skippy, yawn. Still waiting for Mickalene to let us know how they fit into this case and why they think we're gullible. Otherwise, it's an opinion versus an opinion. Justin, before going quiet, says exactly, and proof she disappeared. Just another fake account from the cover-up crew pushing a false hit-and-run narrative. Definitely foul play, in my opinion. And that hit-and-run scenario was staged all day. Just tells us what really happened. Get over with it. George Choden shows up. All the fake accounts you and others keep on going about. How convenient that you don't want to talk about all the fake accounts you created, allowed, protected. There's definitely a crew, and they're the ones pushing hard and fast about premeditated murder, i.e. it's premeditated murder, else you're on the other team. Isn't that correct, Justin Roy? We've all seen how you're good with all the help along the way until people start to question the real reasons you're pushing the premeditated murder route. OHP's starting to see all the nonsense. Justin responds to George, you are a fake account, lol, but you are the one that said Tim Howard is really Lake Wilcoxon and AJ Williams is Nwasa. You said, not me. It's still true. I've never had a fake account, so again, you are a liar. And I have every right to my opinion and my theory. I never state it as a fact, but I believe what I believe from everyone I've talked to, media, news, podcasts, professionals, etc. Noah did not do this to himself. There's only two scenarios that happen and they're both bad. You and your crew have literally been inboxing everyone this whole time. Yes, I was a fool to even trust you. Definitely my fault, but can you please stop sharing direct messages out of context and only partial messages? All you're trying to do is discredit me and try to make me look bad. It's not going to work, George. I'm only here for the truth, that's it. If it was an accident like you seem to believe, why not come out and just tell the truth? Yet they still push hit and run. George, production companies interested in behind the scenes certainly didn't think I'm fake. Can't use fake names on contracts, lol. You've been trying to discredit me ever since I questioned why you can only see premeditated murder as the only cause of death. As for sharing DMs, I guess you and Michael thought it was a good idea to share DMs. Do you think that was a good idea? In hindsight, I guess now you're thinking it wasn't correct. Did you and Jan Fiorillo suddenly find out engaging with felons wasn't such a good idea after all? And then Brooke Carter with a new profile picture says, bingo! That girl says to Skippy, no, that person, he, she, him, her, that, it, whatever they identify by now, definitely don't know what happened. Could you please stop repeating what another person says, Mickalene? You don't know what the hell you're talking about. Didn't you learn anything from Facebook respectfully, sir, ma'am? What are your theories that happened? And Brooke says to Mickalene, you're correct. Brooke responds to Justin, you're the one that said Tim Howard was the Combs family private investigator and who attacked Donna Bond. I have those screenshots as well. We know that was a lie you made up as well. That was 3 hours ago. So it's fairly recent, this. We've got another heavy one here. Let's see. I wonder why Jack said that Noah didn't have a girlfriend when he was asked, because Noah did have a girlfriend and she was 16 at the time. Maybe Jack was protecting Noah so he wouldn't get shamed for dating a 16-year-old, or Jack is protecting Noah's girlfriend. I found that strange. I wonder why he lied about that. You could say that Jack is protecting Noah because of the age difference, but at the same time, supposedly age of consent is of that age, so everything's above board, even if people from elsewhere don't quite agree with it. Not breaking any laws there, supposedly. But what I would say is, maybe Jack wasn't protecting Noah because of this age difference and being younger. Maybe Jack was playing it down, so then it wouldn't come back on him when those claims were made that Jack was the one flirting with Noah's girlfriend who was 16, maybe. Skippy, why would Jack need to protect either of them? The age consent is 16. Noah's family said he didn't have a girlfriend. I do remember that, what JYT says. Did you know which family member or members said that? I trust they would know, but it seems not the whole family is in agreement. I'm guessing it was probably maybe Ashley Chadwick or Robin Smith that mentioned that Noah didn't have a girlfriend. That's my guess. I don't know if it would have been mentioned in the People article. Micheline says, because Noah had a lot of girlfriends. All at the same time? Skippy, are you in the area and you know, so you know this for a fact? I'm trying to discern facts from rumours. Who else did Noah date? Lillian Lemon says, maybe you couldn't accept that Noah has a girlfriend. Jade, I think Jack was protecting Noah because it's looked down upon to date an underage girl, but yes, the age of consent in Oklahoma is 16. Family members said that Noah didn't have a girlfriend because I've spoken to his girlfriend and they were definitely a couple. Yeah, but certain family members have said at some point in the past that Noah wasn't dating. I do remember it myself. CC, and in most states, I don't know about Oklahoma, 3 years age difference is acceptable by law. Sherry, I believe that at the age of 15, you are of age of consent, so the idea of shaming Noah would be senseless. 16 and 19 aren't as bad of an age gap in age. I personally believe Noah was killed out of jealousy. It was definitely rage-filled as well, in my opinion. Most likely wasn't done by just one person either. Every who knew Noah was deceased before 911 calls were actually made. A guilty of association should be charged as well, in my opinion. No matter what Noah may have said or done whilst at the party house didn't warrant taking his life. Why Jack feels the need to protect anyone 16 age of consent. Girlfriend that he's been verified via photo on Facebook. Robbie says Jack was in the area and knew Noah. His family was in the area and knew Noah. How many more people need to confirm it? Yeah, but I swear, certain family members at one point said Noah wasn't dating. Maybe it was misunderstanding. Sherry, just because Noah had female friends doesn't make them girlfriends. It's kind of like, girlfriend, you're with someone, and vice versa, boyfriend. Yeah. You can be friends, just friends with someone of the opposite gender, which would mean female friend instead of girlfriend. It depends how you look at it. Because Noah had female friends doesn't mean they were girlfriends. Yeah. I think Jack wanted to protect Noah because it's frowned upon. Correction, 16, not 15. To confirm that Noah didn't have a girlfriend, I've spoken to her and she said they were a couple. Noah's family said he had a girlfriend. Jack says he did not. Do you or I know if he had a girlfriend? At the end of the day, supposedly Noah did have a girlfriend at the time. They just simply weren't at the party. If they were at the party, would it have changed the outcome for Noah? Would Noah have slept near Logan Jernigan on the floor? Would Noah have wanted to sleep in one of the girls' beds if Noah's girlfriend was actually present? It makes you think. Jade, I don't think Jack would even think of protecting Noah's honour or reputation since he already stated Noah was a kind of hoe getting about. It's more acceptable for a guy to be a hoe than for an adult guy to date another age girl. So that's why I think Jack denied Noah having a 16-year-old. Could simply be a difference in some people define girlfriend. The girlfriend said they were a couple, and it appears some of Noah's family members saw her as his girlfriend. Did Jack know how serious they were? Jack was involved with Carter by this time, so how often did he and Noah talk about girls, since both were probably hanging out more with their girls than each other? Fair point. More acceptable in society for a guy to be a hoe compared to a male adult who's dating an underage girl. That's why I think Jack, okay. Because Jack only thought of Noah as a hoe, even stated in his message he was kind of a hoe. Yes, a lot of hoes, what the hell. More upset, why is it spammed again? I don't know. Everyone has the right to live how they want as long as no laws are being broken. Personal preference is different from person to person, but I don't like when people try to treat their preferences as the law. And then we've got Eric Caden said he was sleeping with Avery in the police interview. Is that Sam? Kind of hard to remember it all. Oh, we've got some different comments there. I don't believe that Noah was sleeping with Avery. I know Caden said, but it could just be rumours. If Noah was sleeping with her, then why did Noah call her a fat beep the night before? And Jack's brother said that Noah told Jack that Avery was always all over him, made Noah feel uncomfortable. Then we got Lisa, who didn't know a date. He was doing exactly what 18 to 19-year-olds do. I don't know about you, but I don't know anybody that settled down and dated only one person when they were only 19 years old. I certainly didn't. I mean, at the same time, you get other people of certain age ranges that just don't come across anyone. It all comes down to timing, place, moment, and whatever in between. Oh my God, what the hell did I miss in the last live? You missed a lot. Here's one thing. Noah may have had a girlfriend, but she wasn't the only girl he was with. So there's maybe some crossovers. I think then so it's Caden, Jack, and Robin because they all talked about it as well. Caden's words from his OHP interview, in quotes. I don't know if it's important or not, but Noah, when he's drunk, he's really flirty. Yeah, I remember that. With anyone or any type of woman. So, from my knowledge, he was messing with Avery at the time. They were having sex and crap like that from what I know, and I'd say Saturday night Noah fell asleep on the ground in the living room with Logan. They didn't do anything, but they fell asleep on the ground. Because Noah was too drunk or too tired to make it to one of the bedrooms. So then that would mean that if Noah wanted to sleep in one of the beds on the Monday, it meant that Noah wasn't tired enough. So he's more energetic? Oh no. What's his timestamp? In the Partisan True Crime interview with Jack, starts talking about Noah and Logan Jernigan. Jack says they didn't hook up but heard they kissed. Robin then says that it wasn't just kissing that went on Saturday night. Yes, I remember that. This just shows that minimum people that knew him said he got around. Is it a reason for him to be hurt? Nope. I don't think it was either, unless it was the reason he got mad and walked off. Skippy says to Robbie, whether he had or did have a girlfriend doesn't matter. I don't think it played into what eventually happened to Noah. I believe he had a girlfriend since you stated that there were a couple of months. Jack may not have known for how serious they were. We don't know if he even really said that Avery supposedly made a comment about him sleeping on the floor the night before with Logan. She wouldn't let him sleep in her bed. Yeah, there's no telling with all the lies. And also, supposedly, as referenced by Caden, I think, whether it be the private interview or the public one, that Avery said when she found out about Noah being on the floor next to Logan, Avery said, I hope you haven't done anything together, because if you do, I will kill you. Do you remember that threat? CC. I hope my alarm works today. I don't get notifications. That's unfortunate. YouTube is dodgy. The only way to possibly fix notifications is to unsubscribe from the channel, then resubscribe and have all the notifications turned on. Sometimes it can help reset. Teresa, anyone tampered with intimidated witnesses? Happy Thanksgiving, ref. Appreciate that, you too. Bit late now, but never mind. I bet Jack Montgomery could solve the case. Not heard that name before. Safia, irritates me that they keep calling them kids. We got Nate. Why can nobody accept that it was more than likely some type of accident? The injuries are the most similar to dragging or sliding at high speed. It's proved to suggest a beating because 99% pointing to a vehicle accident. Internal spine happens when you're sliding or dragging. I said I covered multiple angles over time. Safia, because they keep lying, so why not tell the truth if it was an accident, because it wasn't. You know, if it's an accident can be quite simple. Not a good outcome, but quite simple if it's an accident as to what exactly happened, but not gone that way. Just like with the side-by-side, that's not been a smooth run. It's been confusing. I accept nothing until it's been proven, but I'm open to possibilities. I could ask you the same question. How do you know it wasn't intentional? Well, just guessing, unless direct involved, even the vehicle could have been intentional. Nate, I think the lying is very strange and the whole phone thing, but the injuries don't seem on purpose to me. To Raf, cover in the next video, please, because I'm really starting to think this wasn't a homicide. Well, Nate, I have done demonstration videos before in the past on my channel, if you look back. Maybe I'll do another one in the future, but I have done some already. Any reason Ellie thinks it wasn't hit and run because of no debris? If there was a semi with a push bar that hit him, there wouldn't be any car debris. And if he was killed on the property or purposely hit by a vehicle on the property, that evidence is not known to us, so all possibilities are still open. Body parts, blood everywhere, which there was not, no splatter, true. No, I don't think it was on the property. Somebody would have snitched, and the first house at the road had cameras. Yes, but was anyone in that house? Was that house actually used during the party? We never hear much about it. And as for the cameras, were they even working? Because we've not heard any of that. Also, if he got hit and someone tried to slow down and Noah tried jumping out of the way, there wouldn't be body parts everywhere. The blood thing is very strange to me. So that's the main foul play indicator in my opinion. I think he most likely fell out of a moving vehicle, but it's odd that the person didn't stop if that's the case. I didn't know the first house had cameras since it was empty at the time. I think it was Sarah, Stevie or BBC that said it was empty, if I recall. Nate, how do you know those cameras were working? And now Brooke steps in. Brooke Carter. Party house nor Stevie's house had working cameras. That's a lie. So they didn't have working cameras, but Stevie Howard also said that the cameras were working at some point after Noah walked away when the Texas boys were leaving. It captured that at least. What, so the cameras are intermittent? Are they working? Are they not? Weird. I've heard multiple times cameras, but they weren't on apparently, but it's still worth digging. Why weren't they on then? Thanks for confirming, Brooke. Is Stevie's house the first house closer to the corner? Brooke says, no, it's not. So is it the one at the very bottom where the trailer is? Why was he naked? Because they discovered the body was staged. Why did Jack say didn't have 16? No, not that again. He was dumped there. He was naked because someone was told to go back and get the shorts. I think Noah had numerous girlfriends. Here we go. So more opinions by Brooke. Brooke says, I think Noah had numerous girlfriends. What, all at the same time? At the party or over a course of time? Brooke as well tonight. There was an old Ring camera on the door, but it hasn't worked in years. That's it. Stevie's house had cameras, but they took those with them when they moved the summer before this happened. So that Ring doorbell camera, the front porchway of the party house, if it had worked, it could have picked up that conversation between Avery and Carter when they were having an argument, supposedly. But furthermore, Jasmine Milan when taking a Snapchat selfie as well. I've never seen the Ring doorbell camera because the footage doesn't quite show it clearly. But still, is it normal to have cameras out there in a desolate rural place but just not to maintain them? I know maybe you can't expect people of a younger age to be maintaining everything and be thinking about it because they might have other priorities and different thoughts going on, yeah. But what about that hired hand? Does that hired hand look after the area and the fields? Would they be the maintenance for the house, the cameras, or not? And to be honest, it makes me think, whether it be what Brooke said or Sarah or Stevie at some point in the past, where they said how, the girls have been attacked physically, mentally, property has been damaged. Well, if that's the party house at some point, was there any measures done before or after to get those cameras up and working so they could protect themselves or not? I wonder. Twinkling says, lots of dirty little secrets on the laptop, but they call it a laptop. But I think that's only because Brooke spelt it wrong in one of the chats, but it doesn't really matter. Beth, you think he got into a vehicle at the party? If so, whose vehicle? Jay tonight. Fish-like shape wound on Noah's skull. Screams foul play to me. A golf club can be fish-like looking shape. Brooke says to Beth, that's a lie. There was blood on the scene. Well, yeah, there was to an extent. I've seen the blood myself. We saw that photo of the blood. It was like a little circular patch, but there was a bit of space between that and Noah's body and no dribble marks, no splash marks, sprays in between. That was questionable. Fishtail type of injury, golf club, possibly, maybe the angle. Safia. Who are the Texas boys? Is one of them Jody, Avery's dad? Skippy, I asked BBC on the chat if she knew the Texas boys, but she did not respond. I'd rather talk to the devil. Okay. Nacona, Texas is where Avery's dad lives, and I've seen posts on Reddit talking about his rap sheet, and he's one of the Texas boys. What's a rap sheet? Is it like, yo, I'm a Texas boy, I'm coming down with a toy? I don't know. Skippy, lol. Well, even the devil has some truth sprinkled in his lies. Rebecca, there. Wasn't Jody, unless he helped cover it up, all the drugs will keep it up for days. Oh, wow. Another bad character area. You think Jody wanted revenge for Noah insulting Avery? Do you know who the Texas boys are? Raf has done a couple of videos on them. Have I? I don't know. Pinky, not seen them for a bit, but a different type of Pinky, because the other Pinky was called Inky Pinky. This is just Pinky. Jody was definitely not at the house. Stevie has a restraining order against him since the divorce. He had been trying to have a relationship with his daughters, but he is moody and an addict. He said Stevie kept the girls from him, but I'm guessing his shady life is what kept him from his daughters. Jody was definitely not there. So Jody is a male, the father. Is that right? Lisa, just found out over Thanksgiving dinner, the big husky white Texas boys was a football player and a rival of Noah's. I wonder if there's any way to research if Noah's football team played the Panthers football teams. Something was either said or done to embarrass this a-hole in front of his friends and girls. He had a grudge against Noah for sure. Who knows? I'm aware of names, that's possibly them. I don't believe about Jody wanting revenge. I wonder if Noah found out that guy was planning to attend the party on Sunday and that's why he was hesitant to go back and it took Jack to convince him otherwise, maybe. Interesting things coming out here, isn't there? Lisa, you could very well be right. It would make sense, wouldn't it? They were all adamantly trying to talk Noah into coming back to the party house on Sunday, not just Jack. That's why I was trying to find out if Sunday was the only day the Texas boys attended, because at least that piece of the puzzle would make sense. I'm not aware of Oklahoma and Texas playing against another in high school. Possible. Maybe if they made it to national playoffs. You received a scholarship, Texas boy. I don't know anything about high school. So this was a continuation of the great points. So he hated Noah and Jack called him to the party. I don't know who invited him to the party. That's what I was trying to find out. Thanks for your help in relaying this information to Raph. Thank you, Skippy. Yeah, okay. I'm sure Raph is bombarded daily. Oh, yeah. Yeah, Lisa, that red little teapot kettle is whistling away. The tip of it is ready to burst off, but if it does, still under control. Kind of weird that Noah's dad was out supposedly drinking with Caleb Newton Sunday night. I heard Noah was so desperate to leave the party, he even called his dad, but his dad said no because he was busy with Caleb. Unfortunate. I've heard this as well. Maybe ask JR. His nephews were at the party, yet nobody... Oh, JR, Justin Roy. Justin Roy's nephews were at the party, yet nobody seems to know who the F they are, or their names. Deliberately kept out discussion, even though HP would like to know who JR's nephews are. So, in all fairness, JR, Justin Roy, said about 10 family-related members of his were at the party, but we never know who their names are. I can understand out of respect for privacy and all this, but, you know, with all the other names being dragged through the mud and being mentioned, and yet we've got like a set of 10 people who may have seen things, heard stuff, and then was able to relay it onto Justin, but we don't know the names of the people. I can understand the privacy part, but then at the same time, it is a mystery too. Twinkling to George. George, names have been mentioned, wouldn't you like to know? Of course, I already know, but it's time to bring them onto the stage. Okay, then do it. Make sure to show all of it. Also include all the other kids too. Got to make sure they're on the list. Over 25. What? Who is JR? It's Justin Roy. Very suspicious. Okay. Sherry. Oh, some phones. There's actually a setting to which you can share to other devices. Whoever had the videos and pictures allegedly on the laptop most likely had used that setting and didn't realise until a later date that they'd been transferred. Who knows? That's Spencer. Interesting in the live chat from Elisha, Lee and Brooke, Bounce Carter, Kane and Pressy. Timeline's different in Parts and True Crime from the police interview. Yes. Kane and Pressy, my opinion, is a good person and honest. I agree, I think Caden is a good guy, but not completely truthful at times. I think, at least from what I've seen, Caden Pressy seems to appear as a good individual, but in terms of consistency, not always there, but more so in terms of how the general public have painted Caden Pressy at times in the early days. It might have been overestimated to an extent. Michaela, factory reset doesn't do anything. You can still get the data. Lisa, that's what I'm saying. Resetting your phone doesn't do anything. It's all still out there in the cloud. So law enforcement still have access to all their pictures, videos, and text they didn't even want to even look at, let alone research it, have all the evidence they need. They have the geofence metadata. It's very easy to piece this entire 4-day party together. So I just want to say one thing, kind of like what I did in the Dylan Rounds case based off my own personal, unique experience and encounter. When it comes to me and my phone, with it being an iPhone, it means it's got iCloud. But what I actually did was, as soon as I got the phone, I turned off iCloud. I didn't want anything being put into the cloud because it's not needed. It fills up too quickly. It's just pointless in my opinion, and it creates clutter elsewhere. So when the time came where I had to sort out some technical issues and I had to factory reset my phone, I lost everything on it, as to be expected. But I already had it backed up or whatnot on the previous phone. And when I say backed up, I don't mean through iCloud. I just mean that all the original stuff was on my original phone. And then I transferred it over like a copy onto the new phone. And then on the new phone, I had to factory reset it again. So I lost it, but I still had the original on my phone. But at all times, iCloud was turned off, so nothing was backed up or taken into the cloud, right? So it is possible to factory reset your phones and you can lose stuff and you can never retrieve it again. There might be an exception with certain data and stuff and in the hands of authorities and whatnot, what they can reach and access. Because like in the Dylan Rounds case, despite the phone being dumped in Lucerne Pond, submerged in water, they were able to do a forensic dive on that device, which was an iPhone, and still retrieve the filed timestamp incriminating evidence of Brenner just after Dylan's death at 7:27 a.m., which is very critical. 30-minute time difference of when Dylan Rounds arrived at the farm and then once he died, and then Brenner was in possession of the phone. So really eye-opening there. Still shows that even if you try and destroy a phone, not just factory reset, but literally destroy it, conceal it in water, you can still get stuff from it. But then again, maybe Dylan Rounds had iCloud. I don't. I don't like iCloud. I don't want it on. Like with OneDrive, it's just cancer. No thanks. Moving on. Bradley, dude, you're a troll spreading misinformation and jeopardizing an ongoing investigation. Well, you know what, Bradley? You're a bit of a plum because you can't even spell investigation to begin with. You're missing the N at the end and you're missing some punctuation. You got default channel, default profile picture, not looking too good. What have you contributed, Bradley? Don't think so. Not good luck. So we've already got a bit of a prat there, but no surprise, it happens. One day at a time. Great work, Ref. Haven't heard much about Dina Rose since I asked the information was being reported to HP. I appreciate that. Yes, Dina Rose has gone quiet. Buquin, my guess, the laptop may be the controller/storage for the CCTV. Who knows? Oh, we've got a long one again. Micheline says, I missed most of the live chat. Elisha, no one has seen your phone analysis and your video's a joke. How long you think you can keep up the lies? How much more money have you collected? Lisa, I have seen Elisha's phone analysis. Wish I knew what you guys were talking about then. Robbie says, did you see the screenshot of Elisha's call log or did you see Caden's phone analysis? Skippy, how is she making money off this? I've missed the whole discussion. Lisa, what is the screenshot? And then I can tell you. Robbie, screenshot. Sorry, Elisha posted a screenshot of her calls from 9th of the 3rd, 9th of the 4th. Caden's phone analysis hasn't been posted that I'm aware of. Lisa says, so it probably is a screenshot. How else would she be able to post a call log? I remember seeing several calls Elisha made to Caden, 241 to 242, and several calls were made to her daughter. Why? Is this to do with Monday? Robbie, okay, yes, that is Elisha's. Establishes the time she called Caden. Micheline is talking about the phone analysis that they had done on Caden's phone that was supposed to prove he was there at 5:21. What, the highway? There's a screenshot there of Elisha saying if they get their hands on Caden's data, it will just give them what they need to come up with a new timeline. No thanks, not going to happen. What is she hiding? I'll try to send all this to Warlight Ref this evening. Taking my knees are public comments. Brooke says, you didn't know they received a lot of money for Caden to have an attorney, but then his attorney let him go and then Jan's attorney picked him up. But then after his audio with LE went live, he dropped him too. They made a large amount of money for an attorney. I know numerous people that showed me the amount they donated, and I was shocked. How is money donated? And is this to claim through Reddit, or is it through some GoFundMe? Because I've not seen a GoFundMe to do with this. Skippy, I was not aware of that, so thanks for providing that info, Brooke. Hopefully they'll use those funds for another attorney. I think all those that were at the party house the morning Noah died should have legal representation since this case has not been solved regardless of you may know what. Lisa says to Robbie, it's pretty easy to confirm Caden was there at the Highway 521 or not, especially Google Maps. Keeps a history of location check-ins. I know I get a report every month of where I've been. Ooh, with an exclamation mark. Where have you been, Lisa? I don't think Elisha is hiding anything. I think she's trying to protect herself and her son, which any mother would do simultaneously. Yeah. Oh, here we go. Some key people come in now. Robbie, you can protect your child without lying about ongoing investigation. Elisha Lee, Caden Press's mother, says to Brooke Carter, why are you consistently lying, Brooke? Everything you typed is a bold-faced lie. You're sick, twisted, and deserve everything that comes to you when your sand castles fall. Twinkling says to Lisa, they all keep screaming about Caden's phone analysis, but not a damn one of them have shown except for Sarah. She wasn't even at the party. She was showing how she got calls. Lisa responds, but what if you're really afraid of these crazy people and you don't trust law enforcement to protect you? Rebecca says to Brooke, what's the big deal about that? It helped with representation. Why is it so wrong? Just curious. I understand that parents and such love the party house kids, and I don't think it's right to talk crap about any of them. Why can't you guys leave Caden alone? It's such a shame how a lot are being treated. In response to Skippy, exactly, I thought the exact same thing. They make it seem like they were conning people, like what the hell? Who cares if they raise money for representation? It's crazy, Elisha. I'm sick of them being completely ignorant, unbelievable. Brooke to Rebecca, well, if Caden would stop lying, there would be zero to even mention his name. But he or his mother, Elisha, using his Facebook account, has started a ton of rumours. I think the kids have been manipulated by his very controlling, mentally disturbed mother. Oh, wow. Becca to Brooke, this whole case is a ton for all parties involved. Don't you think it would be better for the young adults if people left them all alone? I worry about them all, even if I think a bunch are involved. It's fair for them to be attacked, it's not fair. Brooke says, I agree. Innocent until proven guilty. However, that's not the case here. They can't provide any evidence it was them, yet still blame them. Skippy, I don't see how anyone could know what transpired between a client and their attorney. Not our business anyways. Rebecca, it's none of our business. It really isn't anyone's. And Brooke says to Elisha, well, honey, I have screenshots from what was your attorney's wife stating such. Yep, you probably should find another attorney soon. You're definitely going to need one. And that was 13 hours again. And even more comments here. Micheline, why wouldn't you answer police when they asked you point blank? Also, lying saying interview was hacked. Should I show screenshots of all the people you sent it to? Your top contributors of money given to you? So Micheline is indirectly responding to Elisha Lee here, supposedly. Sherry, a different Sherry, she avoided answering that question about her message with OHP. When he asked her about the video, she would not answer him. Brooke, exactly. I think I asked her, 6-7 times, and she refused to answer. Jade responds to Brooke, who else did Noah date besides the 16-year-old? Brooke, I'm not sure all the girls he was talking to names. Noah was young and having fun. What else? Lying about evidence is going to get you along with getting money for it. Lying about a young man's death and collecting money off of it. Wow, cops are on to you. Since police have your video, Elisha, why isn't it all over the news? Those cops staging the scene would be arrested and it would be everywhere. Your lies are catching up with you and collecting that money is fraud. Micheline, cops seemed awfully interested when you were in the road, same time Noah was missing, and why 2 different vehicles, you couldn't speak for Caden. On that one, he says Camaro, you say SUV, either way shows lies. You have nerve pointing the finger at anyone. Victor says, I didn't listen to chat, having a difficult time understanding some of your comments. I don't think there's any hidden video. Also, you saying Elisha profiting from Reddit? Justin, cops are also interested in the ATV that was on the highway at 4:45 a.m. as well. and a few phone pinging near the body around the same time, just ready for the truth to come out. I think 911 should have been called in any scenario that happened. George, oh, here we go again, to Justin. You mentioned any scenario, so even you sometimes fall off your own premeditated murder allowed soapbox. I think it's a bit late for that after all the damage you've done making sure people were falsely accused of premeditated murder. Justin says, you are dumb, George. I see exactly what you're doing. I have every right to my opinion. I've never called anyone a murderer. I have my opinion and theory, and I do believe it was foul play, but it was not a hit and run like that family have tried to push for over a year now. And that social hosting party caused Noah's death, even if you agreed with that. I'm sorry you took my opinions as facts. That's a problem, not mine. Try to flip it any way you want. Again, every right to opinion my theory. Run along now and crawl back to your master. Nicely done. You have your opinions, but once you start acting on your opinions, then those actions become facts. Told you to back off, so it's your problem, not mine, says George. You're paying a 16-year-old girl $500 to get premeditated murder video. Is that your opinion? What the hell going on there? George, share that whole story, not just half of it. She contacted me about it. I told her to report it and about the reward money. You know all of this. Why are you taking it out of context? You're again being a liar, a coward. And 9 hours ago, Justin, because facts, lol, I listened to yourself, you're an idiot. I should have saw this a long time ago. You know, a puppet literally told you the two possible scenarios, and they're both bad. Now, besides Justin saying there are two possible scenarios, in recent time, Brooke Bounds Carter said there are three possible scenarios, and one of which is like a hit and run of some sort. So what are the other two scenarios? Brooke never elaborated on that, which was a shame. Victor, wasn't able to watch today, but damn, some of the comments must have been wild. Yes, it was. It was, definitely. Will it be wild again right now? Personally, I don't think so. I think tonight it'll be somewhat quiet because based off that live stream that I did last night, that was very quiet. Mark says, just a thought. How would Noah get the keys to the side-by-side if he was so drunk he needed help standing up and balancing afterwards? So before that, how could he walk into the bedroom to get the keys? Wouldn't he have made a noise, fumbled about? Fair enough, yes. Yeah, I see. In other words, how would he sneak into the room? Yes, without waking somebody up if he's so drunk. Well, supposedly, he did wake up Carter Combs, and Carter was wondering what was going on, but it didn't escalate any further. That's how supposedly Jack found out about that event. Jack was asleep, Carter was woken up, Carter later told Jack about it. I'd imagine someone that drunk would have had a hard time navigating to find the keys. Yes. I may have got the wrong ones, depending. Now, my question is, when Noah was in the side-by-side, what clothing was he wearing? Did he wear shoes or not? Does anyone know? That'd be interesting to know. Skippy, agree, Mark. I asked the same thing a while back. He must have been quiet as a tiny little mouse. Victor, Mark, lol, I would have fallen over Jack looking for keys. I remembered that. Does go against the narrative, doesn't it? Mark, certainly knocking to the nightstands a bit, opening the door alone when you're drunk. I mean, I've been drunk literally over 1,000 times. Mostly you're laughing because you do whatever you're trying to do. Yeah. So we just did giveaways, not exactly James Bond-like. If Noah was drunk and they were claiming he was yet sober, to steal a vehicle and crash it, discrepancies. Now, me personally, I've never been drunk. Never. I have had lemonade and that made me hyper. So, maybe if I did get drunk through alcohol, I'll be a few ways from a chemical disaster. Skippy. Yes, it does. Carter Combs was supposedly sleeping with Jack in the same room, but she didn't wake up either. Well, supposedly Carter Combs did wake up and see what was going on. Because that's like what Jack was referencing in his interview, I believe. Justin, yeah, Caden Pressey saw Jack awake at 2:40 in the morning. It was in his interview. Yes, so yeah, that's the other problem. Mark, So the sleeping thing looking a bit shaky, isn't it? Wouldn't a Joy think to themselves, 4-day party, but sleeping during the window of time if Noah got hurt? Circumstantial, albeit tough to believe, too convenient. Kenny was sleeping as well. Is that tough to believe? Too convenient? I mean, just the timing of when he was woken up. But it happened, supposedly. Mark, my opinion. I haven't been drunk that many times, but I probably would have fell on top of Jack. What, fell on the bed and broke it? That would have been funny. Mark, well then, Get to drinking, lol. You have some catching up to do. Oh, no. I'm just thinking now, with what Mark and Victor are getting at, got to be drunk to do this and that. Does that mean that Warlight Raf has to do a recreation of trying to walk into a room, steal some keys whilst being drunk? Do I have to recreate that? Oh, that's not going to be a good role model on YouTube. Oh, hi, here I am with a massive bottle of alcohol. Let me just finish it off in one gulp, and then we'll begin recording. Oh, no. What else do we have? Brooke says to Justin, which story of Ken and Pressy are you talking about? Also, you don't believe there is a video of Noah out and about with the kids after his shower? What, the teabagging one? Or something else? Justin, oh, there's videos, but never saw any of him in white shorts. If you have any, please share, like we have asked for months. And Brooke says, that's not what I asked. Do you believe there are videos of him partying with the kids after the shower? It might be hard to answer if you've not actually seen the footage, but if someone else has. Amanda says, STD9 is your second last year in high school in South Africa. Last year being matric. After that, you were off to varsity if your parents had enough money or you got a bursary. Nothing to do with sexually transmitted diseases. Well, there we go. We've learnt something new there. For context, if anyone's wondering why has this come up, in a previous video, someone said or referenced they've got STD something, and I thought, what, you got sexually transmitted disease, but that's not the case. So that's good. Lisa, oh my gosh, what did I miss in the live? Why is everyone coming down on Elisha? Oh my god, 51 replies! Oh no, I thought we were getting towards the end. Not likely, man. Well, let's just try and burst through this, Robbie, because more and more proof is coming out that Elisha is a liar. She sent Caden's OHP interview to people before she said it was hacked. She says they drove her SIL's SUV to go get JB, but Caden says in his OHP interview they drove her Camaro. She said to Justin on a post she called OHP at 6 a.m. on the morning of Noah's death, then explained she left out the word after, which still wouldn't make any sense since Caden didn't tell her until he got home around 8 a.m. I do remember that when Caden said he got back home near 8 a.m. onwards and then told his parents what happened. This all backed up by text, screenshots and Caden's interview. Skippy, please let Raf know where these contradictory screenshots are posted so he can take a look at them. Many of us don't have Facebook or non-members forums, so we can't see its proof. Victor, yeah, Skippy, show Raf this info so we can look at it with time, maybe, yeah. Robbie says to Skippy, I am accusing no one of whatever happened to Noah. I'm just saying that she is not telling the truth about the few things, which is weird, right? Including me being Jose. I know that none of you know me, but I know me, so it proves to me how incredibly stupid she and the others are to Sam. Jose, it gets old. Skippy, the truth is all we seek, isn't it, Victor? If there's other info out there, then by all means, need to prove these cryptic posts are exhausting. Robbie, there's nothing cryptic about what I said. Happy to send anything I have to Raf. Issues, Mom is in hospital, so it will be later. Well, take care. Hope it goes well. You'd start yourself by just comparing Caden's two interviews info from the Partners into Crime with the contradictions. Right. So if anyone wants to learn about Caden Pressy's private interview compared to his public interview, I've already done a very deep analysis, side-by-side comparison of all, if not most of the inconsistencies. I've got a video of it, a map analysis, and it's all lined out. Maybe if I can find it, I'll post it in the comment section. The video itself wasn't done in a negative way towards Caden, it was just an observation and that's all. This person, JB, they always bashed Elisha. Also, certain people like Brooke and Kristen. Who's Kristen? Take over the whole entire case discussion group. They chime in on every post. Nobody likes to be confronted by those sweet ladies. Lol, absolutely. Skippy, I don't know who or whose RL is, but I'm sorry to know someone is in the hospital. Oh, case full of contradictory stuff. Sorry, RL, real life. Oh yeah, I normally hear it as IRL, in real life. Sweet ladies, more like salty and sour with lemons. Brooke responds, well, Elisha was the one talking about giving black eyes and beating someone's ass. not me, lol. Did you see that Elisha also wouldn't answer about her OHP text conversation? But don't worry, I'm going to post them so everyone can see she is a compulsive liar. Twinkling says, can't wait for the truth, the laptop to come out. Everyone will know about that, ring bell, etc. The next point by Brooke in response, and it has been edited since. How's that possible when it's two separate properties? Laptop cameras were game cameras at Bug Scuffle and one at Stevie's old property, and Ring, a doorbell camera that didn't even work, were at totally different properties that wouldn't be tied to Stevie's laptop. Keep trying, very good job. Twinkling, dirty little secrets. Funny you mentioned doorbell earlier. Rumour has it they were talking through it, but to Stevie. Why? Annoyed mama. How is Elisha making money off Reddit? I didn't even know that was possible. Neither did I. Brooke says to Twinkling, looks like you just answered your own question, dumbass. Rumour has it, bingo, with a kiss. Brooke says to Annoyed, yes, apparently they had a Reddit group out there solely based to raise money for Elisha. Numerous ladies have come forward showing how they were approached to help raise money or donate. Have those ladies provided hard evidence and screenshots of it, though, online? Twinkling, the thing, she's not. They want to say Caden doesn't have a lawyer when in fact he does. Rebecca, Robbie, BBC, Micheline and others were attacking Elisha. It was insane how bad it's got between everyone. Do you have email, Skippy? It's not even worth commenting to you. Your behaviour is absurd. Robbie, laughing my ass off. Rebecca to Brooke, I don't understand how or why that's a big deal at all. I truly don't. I'm not being bitchy. I really don't see that it's a problem or anyone's business. Twinkling to Brooke, what the matter? Don't want the secrets to get out, so got to come up with a story. Brooke, bring out the secrets you keep saying. Please let the world see. We are all anxiously waiting. Spill it, sis. I don't give a beep about the money. She brought money up in the live chat saying she would buy and sale me any time, and I thought, right, that's why you had to have money raised for an attorney. It's going on a bit. Twinkling to Brooke, oh honey, why ruin it? It'll be a slap to the face when the lights come shining, don't you worry. You're just a bottom feeder anyways, like Robin says. You're the mouthpiece, so go report. Annoyed, there's, can you provide a link to this Reddit group please? So there were people raising money for a Reddit group. Robbie to Rebecca, yeah, your comment anyway, guess that makes you absurd. Rebecca, oh, I thought you were mad about the money, which is curious. I was like to ask the person and not assume. I really am trying not to be a bitch, but behaviour from the adults is actually crazy. If grown adults can find a way to speak civilly to each other, then what kind of example is that? Civically to each other, and what kind of example is that to the young adults being involved? Believe it or not, I'm trying to slow down the fighting between everyone. Brooke, no, I do not care, nor have I cared about money. For some reason, everyone seems to be fixated on money. I don't think it's right for people to make money off Noah's death, though. Wait, I'm sure when Brooke says, I don't care about money, and I don't understand why people are fixated about money, Brooke is the same person to said at one point that she's making, what, $250,000 or something a year, and saying, oh, I'm quite happy with that. That was in some kind of conversation previous. Hence referencing money. It's a bit ironic. Robbie, it usually works better though if you don't insult people. Rebecca, the only reason I brought it up was because you were commenting about it, that's all. Thanks for responding. Geez, I didn't realise saying people's behaviour is absurd was insulting. A lot of people's behaviour needs adjusting, including my own. I just wish everyone in general could at least respect one another for their different opinions. I do get it's hard a lot of the times. Well, most of the time on my channel, in my chat, it normally is under control whether people agree or not, and it's fine. But obviously when certain people from Facebook come on over here, not everybody gels well, so it can go wrong. It is what it is, but it's not always that hectic, so it's fine. Brooke, girl, you've been saying the laptop and 9 warrants since the beginning of August. We're trying to patiently wait to be arrested, doll. We're fixing to go all enjoy Christmas in Mexico together. Better hurry. Can't believe Ellie would sit on 9 warrants for 4 months, just crazy. I don't have a link. I have the screenshots of the group and people that were tied to it. I think I still have them. I know the attorney does. I'm sure I can get it from him again. Twinkling, I never said anything about 9 arrest warrants. Goes to show how stupid and low your IQ is to think someone said that. Shows how you put words into people's mouths. That didn't say that. Continue being the real mouthpiece you are, BJ. Now, for anyone who's kind of out of the loop, not that we have to do a demonstration, because I know it'll trigger PTSD within some people who saw the last video, but BJ is some kind of nickname people have given to Brooke Bounds Carter. I mean, at the time when I heard the initials BBC, I got a little bit confused. And then when people said it's the name of someone, then it made more sense. But I was a bit confused for a certain time. And then for it to be called BJ Brooke Carter or something, I thought, what the hell? But yeah, just to break it down, BJ, it's basically when a job gets done, needs doing, and it involves blowing. But as I've said, when something is in your mouth and your lips are wrapped around it, are you really blowing? No, you're not. You are sucking, just like an ice lolly. You put something in, you may pull it out. Your lips might wrap around it, but you're sucking on it. That's why the ice lolly melts and breaks down quicker, depending how hard and fast you suck, right? If you were blowing, it's like if there was a fire and you're trying to blow it out, you're breathing outwards. So it's incorrect terminology, even in such a dodgy event like this. But let's just move on before it gets worse. Lisa, a little defensive, aren't you? You were right, Brooke was mad about the money being raised for Elisha. There is a mega narcissist. She manipulates and twists everything around. Have you ever seen when wild animals are backed into a corner with no way out? What do? They become very defensive and more aggressive. They start lunging at their attackers. You cannot change these people. You cannot slow down the deep-seated anger and rage that has become the moral compass for them. Well, the thing is, Lisa, it just so happens that Brooke Bounds Carter kind of referenced as a form of symbolism that if you keep poking the mama bear, Stevie Howard, then she will fight back. I remember that. Brooke, not all, just over idiots spreading rumours. To Brooke, so then why do you engage? Do you think you're going to change thousands of people's minds? I know you're a very strong, wealthy, powerful woman in your community. What do you really think you can take on the global scale of the internet? Brooke, do you just randomly believe all the lies on the internet? I've changed a lot of minds. I pray this is solved daily for Noah and for the truth to be revealed. So many people will be exposed for how horrible they are. It's not okay what they're doing to these kids. They'll be exposed on Netflix as well. No, ma'am, I don't believe anything I hear or read on the internet. I just have a very specialised, unique skill not very many people have. I'm like a scent dog. I can sniff out the truth 10 miles away. I have a 99.7% accuracy rate. Oh, no. Oh, my God. Lisa's got a 99.7% accuracy rate. Got direct competition with me and my accuracy score. I might have to hide. Brooke, well, yeah, might want to brush back up on that unique skill because that percentage is going down dramatically. Oh, no. And last but not least, girl, you're so jealous. I'm sorry you have to resort to things like that. I'm not a gatekeeper. I'm happy to show you how to dress, make up, properly work out to help you find a man since you're so hung up on the BJ. It's so cute that you talk about my low IQ. You know, when people resort to things like this, it's really what they're jelly of with multiple kisses. So basically, Brooke... What does Brooke, some personal fashion designer, makeup artist, expert workout trainer? Oh, no, not again. What's it with all these experts going about? They're going to put me out of business in seconds. We've got Lisa with a high accuracy score, maybe higher than me. Damn. And we've got Brooke, master of many abilities. Oh, my God, my fashion sense is not quite on trend right now. What am I going to do? What am I going to do about the makeup? Oh. No. I don't know. Victor, I missed the chat. Sounds like the mob attacked Elisha Lee. I'm not choosing sides. I know who's lying, but I know the Jack group are very aggressive. The mob is behaving like defendants. Well, it's actually crazy how they behave. And Brooke says, we are aggressive, yet Elisha said she was going to beat my ass. Funny and cute. Then went on to say she could buy and sell me anytime. I think that's the mental illness coming in. What's this one? People say Caden's side to the case on his interviews and Alicia's texts are not consistent or all lies. Well, look at Jack's on his changes in times and details. Partners in true crime flat out indicates different stories. Yeah, with this case, you can't just go after one person, be critical. If you're going to do that, you got to be critical of almost everyone. If anyone is connected to someone who is or works at the coroner's or medical examiner's office in the local areas, show them Noah's autopsy report and ask them what they can deduce from his injuries. But by the way, if you do show it to a coroner or a former coroner, like, what is it called? Something Map from Reddit, one of the whingiest, whiniest individuals out there who had a bit of an obsession with my videos, constantly complaining about them on Reddit, not forgotten. For your information, all county clerks, officers have websites of public information about all court proceedings, criminal, civil, probate, etc., land transfer, evictions, everything. Just type in a name. Robbie sent you a message. Okay, I'll take a look at that closer. And that's pretty much it for the comments. Whew. Take in mind, whilst we got through 274, it could be 300 by tomorrow, but there's not much I can do about that. I just wanted to showcase what has been going on recently, because I know not everybody will be looking at the comments. So towards the end of this video, some people are a bit hung on BJ's or the nickname BJ, but one thing that is a fact, it's quite a mouthful, this video, and the title that needs to be given to it. So I'll have to think long and hard as to the title of the video, so it includes everything without it being too complex, and then we'll see what happens next. Bit of a bulk video, but take in mind it needed to be done. It's quite heavy, but I didn't want it to overshadow my natural creative videos elsewhere, which I'll get to eventually. This was the latest stuff, what I wanted to present to you. Some won't see previous comments, others won't have access to Facebook, so that's why I do it here and can relay it. Sometimes I can analyse and other times I can't. It depends how much I know about the situation, and some of these events I've not looked in too deeply, but at least being able to present it here. To spread it a bit more, maybe you can look into it deeper in the future. As for that hired hand, that would be the first person, key individual that pops out to me, as in maybe you need to look at or get an idea of how long have they been a hired hand, how they've been around previous parties or nearby, and how did they find out about Noah's death in the first place, and more, and take it from there. In the meantime though, I'll be doing my own videos, ticking stuff off the list, which may help or may open up new questions, we'll see. All in all, hopefully you enjoyed this video, found it interesting. Be sure to hit the like button, that would be appreciated. And if you want to, share this video elsewhere so more people get to see it and understand what's going on at the moment and how explosive and intense it is, despite it being going on for some time. My name's Warlike Raff. I'll see you next time. Goodbye. Good night for now.